don't have quorum, but I'm going to call the meeting to order and we'll just not make any rash decisions tonight. How about that?
Contrary to other evenings.
Right. We're very rash normally.
Of course. So I think we have a fairly light agenda tonight. So hopefully we can end a little bit early. The first two items are fairly straightforward. Give me one sec. I'm also juggling and admitting people. Okay, so the first order of business is that the end of the month is our May ECHO copy deadline. That is a really important deadline to have on time because we're going to need to, this is a subsequent agenda item, but we're going to have elections and we need to have our board, proposed board or, slate of candidates published in that ECHO before the actual elections occur. So hopefully we'll try to be a little bit more tight on that one. And I might actually ask Sarah to bump it up a week just to give us a little bit more time for production. So Andre, the next agenda item is yours. I don't know if you want to start off about the future of RCA meetings, whether they're virtual or in person.
Sure. I just thought that it was getting close to the time that we might discuss when we might go back to what you guys were doing prior to my arrival and prior to the COVID's arrival. I think it would be great to get back together once it was safe enough to do so. And I really wanted to kind of throw that out there for discussion in terms of when people might start feeling safer to do so. From my personal perspective, I'm starting to feel pretty good because I already got my phase 2 Pfizer number 2 vaccination. I don't know how many other people now that things have opened up, hopefully most everybody should be able to get vaccinated who wants to, and hopefully everybody wants to. So I don't know, let's see, to this we're in, beginning of April, May, June, I don't know. What do you think there's a possibility? June, July?
Ooh, maybe. I mean, I'm not even eligible for the vaccine until the end of this month, let alone actually getting an appointment. But, boy, I would love to be. I want to make a suggestion. What if we did executive meetings virtually and general meetings in person? So sort of, once we feel safe, just, because I really like the convenience of the Zoom meeting, but I would also like to see people in person occasionally.
Likewise.
So I don't know. That's a thought, but
yeah, that sounds like a pretty good compromise, actually. That was really where my head was at. I've only really had a chance to see people briefly at our last cleanup session and so forth. So I guess it's kind of a selfish suggestion on my part to try to get it going as quickly as possible. But I certainly understand the necessity to be cautious and not to rush the matter. Just throwing it out there and sometime maybe in the summer we can revisit it.
Hey, so my name is Reiner Kohlenkampf. I'm new to Randolph Hills. I moved here this summer.
Hey.
Teacher, assistant principal in MCPS, and we've been doing hybrid. I don't know if that's so. Like even some of our meetings, we'll have 2 or 3 people show up and have the meeting in person, and then 15 people virtually. Nice to meet everyone, by the way. I've been trying to get to this for months, and I finally made it.
We know how that is.
Welcome.
All of us.
It's been a year for
everyone.
So.
It has been a year for everyone. Yeah, really. I know I've been at meetings where they had the phone in. I guess like we could run a laptop through through a virtual hotspot and have people on the phone also. I mean, on the on Zoom also. I mean, even when we are in person. That's a good point.
I mean, question. So we just have the May meeting and then the June meeting, and then we have summer break, correct? And then we start up
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah.
I would assume, I mean, I'm hoping by September,
Yes.
the things have, most people in the area have had the shots. We've all had shots if we want them. And by September, I'm hoping that we can start doing something. But I'm wondering, there's only 2 more meetings. So I don't know if we would do both of those virtual, do the summer. And, I mean, it would be nice to meet everybody who's new, of course. And
yeah.
you all, but I'm wondering if these next 2 would just be better online, just to make sure. And then come September, fingers crossed, everybody is, good and we can all start doing more normal business.
That sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that I would say is that if some of us decided to meet in May or June in person, we would have to 100% support a remote option as well.
Yeah.
So if a few people wanted to meet in person somewhere, I don't think that there would be any expectation that anyone would be there in person at all. This is something that when I was secretary, I tried to look into, and I talked to Ken Kopchik a lot about this. And the challenge with doing hybrid options when we're meeting at the community center is that the signal there for cell service
is terrible. You're right.
And so if we want to try to do a hybrid option, if the weather is right, first of all, meeting outside is going to be a lot easier it'll make a lot more people comfortable, I think. And I actually don't even know if we can use the community center right now anyway. Clifford may know, but we could meet at the Civic Green if the weather is nice that day. And if it's not, then we can, sit at the comfort of our homes. But, it would be nice to see people, but I don't think there would be any expectation that everyone would be there in person. And we would definitely need to still have the Zoom option.
Okay.
Yeah, Nell, I don't think you guys are doing the spaghetti dinner this June, are you?
Oh no, we're just gonna have carrots and radishes. Socially distanced.
Socially distanced carrots and radishes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just we'll keep our eyes open for the weather in May, and we'll kind of play it by ear, but we'll certainly still have the Zoom link, and anyone who wants to do it. I mean, Mara, I'm with you as well that sometimes in person just isn't going to work out, and moving forward in an ideal state, I personally think that we should have a hybrid option for meetings, in perpetuity.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so now, Miss Nell Rabbit, we're on to the walk audit, which is your agenda item.
I'm so happy. I couldn't do it any longer. My name is Nell. I am president of Civic, the sister organization of Randolph Civic Association, but we're a 501c3, and we focus more on beautification, educational stewardship. We do cleanups of the park and things like that. One of our big priorities now, we've sort of agreed that we'd like to get more gelled with the RCA and vice versa. So here I am. Our attempts to do that have been, hit or miss, but I'd really like to get more gelled and more in sync with what you guys are doing and enhance things that you're doing, which I think this next venture is doing. I heard that I caught wind that you guys were doing a sort of a taking in recommendations for where you wanted to have more striping, more safer walking areas anyway. And I thought it'd be great to have a walk audit, and that idea sort of caught on. And so I think we're all in agreement that we're pretty excited about a walk audit on June 12th. It'll be a Saturday. And for those of you that don't know what a walk audit is, anybody don't know? I'll just share what
I don't know.
Okay. So a walk audit is, thank you. A walk audit is where we as a community gather in groups, and it'll be outside, and we take checklists with us, and we assess where we feel comfortable walking in our own neighborhood, and we note what is missing in feeling comfortable walking in our neighborhood. For example, like extra striping on the going across the street, or a stop sign, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The term is called a walk audit, and communities sort of all over the nation are doing it, actually. Montgomery County really wants neighborhoods to do it, and I've been to a lot of training sessions about it. Actually, right before everything shut down, I went to a training session, and so something I kind of wanted to do. I thought it'd be a great thing to do because we can do it outside, socially distanced, and we can be on a mission, and we can meet new neighbors, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's shaping up to be again Saturday, June 12th. I hope it's not too hot, and I hope it's not raining, but what are you going to do, right? I should get a rain date. I do have...
What time on Saturday?
Yeah, so those are all the things that I haven't cemented. I think it's going to be... Matt Tifford said he was available at 3:30, so it's going to revolve around his availability. Kind of, maybe. I don't really know. But 3:30 is what we were thinking. 3 to 5:30. But let me see. I'm really trying to. Can I share something? Can I share my screen?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Let's see. Because I have this document that I'd like to share with at least the board and also the people in attendance. Okay. Okay. And this, I think, is what I want to share. Do you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is, I put this on the board, for the board, on your Slack. And I'd also like to be able to get it to the people who are in attendance that are not in the board, maybe. This document is for you guys, for really everybody, to kind of go in and edit, like have at it. I have things like, of course, here's the why by filling in the categories below. I thought because, it's hard to touch on all these points during this meeting, that you can actually just access this document and go down and just jot it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
There have been some good acceptances of this walk audit. Here we have Wade Holland, who is the lead of the Vision Zero initiative. Mark Elrich about a year ago. And then all these people walk audit experts in the county. Hans Reamer, the principal. Oh, I got some interest that they've listed us on the calendar. The horse-mounted park police want to come out for the event.
Ooh.
And they're fun. That's fun for the kids, you know? The horses and the police and stuff like that.
For sure.
Anyway, these are the things I thought you guys could weigh in on. Should we use an Eventbrite for the invitation? Who should we reach out
Sorry.
with the media? I know you guys have
Can't do
connections
this.
there. All these things. So I'd like to get this document to you guys, especially the members here that are not on the board. So maybe I could have their emails on the chat to look at the document. I have Christiana's email.
It's a Google Doc, right? Right?
Yeah.
So you can just put the link into the chat here.
Oh,
Good.
there you go. Great
This is
idea.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Yeah, man. Okay. How do I do that? Oh dear goodness.
If you go to share, it should have a like edit.
And then I
copy
go
link.
right to.
Oh, you just how to put it in the chat? Chat
I've got it.
link is.
I don't know why it's not linking up. But anyway. Anyway, I don't know why I'm not being able to do that.
If you click on share in the upper right, I think it should have a copy link option.
I do see that.
See the big blue share.
Yes. I put it in the chat, but it's not doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rainer. That works. That works for me. I might just have to do.
Yeah, we don't have to put you on the spot while,
Okay.
you can do this in the background if you want. So that,
Yeah.
but this is great.
Did it work? Did it work? No. Mara,
Yeah.
did you get it?
Yeah, there's a. Yep,
Okay,
that's it.
so if you could share that with everyone right now, because I think it just went right to you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yes.
All right. So back to my point. My point is we have about what? It's April Fool's Day. So we have a lot of time to get this together to kind of finalize everything. But what I'd really like is for people to jump in the document and write what they want. I do have a meeting with the RCF board next week. So we'll take your ideas and what you write on this document and we'll look it over at the meeting. And that's on Wednesday. So if you have any questions about that, you can email me at this address. But I don't, there's my address there. Does everybody get that in the chat?
Messed up somehow.
Yep, it's there.
Sorry, guys. My Zoom is I don't even know. But in the chat, I just wrote my Gmail. And if you have any questions or concerns or ideas that you don't want to put in that document, send me an email. But I think it'd be a great occasion. And you know what? It'd be a great occasion even just to shoot for, I think. So I just got a ping from a gentleman, Michael Pugh, P-U. He lives on Ashley, and he's very concerned about cars around his house all the time. And does anybody know him? Does anybody know Michael? He's an actor apparently. It's really cool. Anyway, I think he'd like to join in too. So I mean, when you speak to people about this concern, I think we all have it. I think we all have it to some extent. Just safety while walking around our neighborhood. So does anybody have any questions for me or concerns?
I have a question or a comment.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Linda. Hi, I live on.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm good. I'm concerned about the well, not only the four-way stop at the corner of Schuylkill Road and Garrett Park Road, but the stop sign at the corner of Wyaconda and Schuylkill. When you're going up Schuylkill, like going up towards into the neighborhood, I don't think the cars can see that stop sign at Wyaconda and Schuylkill. Whyacon, do you know where that is?
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, it's at the end of the section. And okay, do you know where the Marvin Mike's Auto Repair is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's right a little bit up. It's the next, if you're standing there and you look to your right, it's the next corner, the next street corner.
So look, Linda, I'm putting this on our document right now.
Okay.
And your concern is you can't see the stop sign. Is that correct?
I don't think the cars can see the stop sign because of the trees, because they don't stop. They are slowing down, and sometimes they're just going right through the stop sign, and the trees are covering the stop sign.
Well, so thank you for that, because
You're welcome.
I'm putting it right on number 3 here.
Yeah, we actually talked about this stop sign maybe a meeting or two ago, and I believe that someone had put in a 311 request because, you know, that's probably, I mean, the placement of that stop sign is a legitimate concern for the walk audit, but if there's already a stop sign there, then it's more just, you know, a 311 request versus going through that process, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It takes them a long time to respond to things, like the tree on the county tree on the yard here. They came last July because I requested them to trim the tree because people were walking up and down the sidewalk and hitting their face in the tree. I mean, the branches, we're not supposed to do anything to those trees, but they left a note on my door of July of last year, and they never came back. And I put in another request and I got a call. But anyway, it's not time for it yet, but it's getting pretty big. These trees are getting really big, or are already very big. I'm concerned about them going into the telephone, the telephone lines or the roots. They're pretty big trees.
Yeah, and that intersection is actually on our list already for crosswalks too, because, you know, kind of like there's a lot of cross traffic there because of the businesses like Dogtopia, and so that intersection is already sort of on our targeted list for the crosswalk project, and I think it'll be a really important one for the walk audit because there's also the bus stop right there.
So I listed that as number 3 on this document. And I don't know if I spelled Schuylkill correctly or not.
SCH, I can't see it.
Yeah, it's okay.
SCHUYLKILL.
Maybe
I will fix it if
Thank
needed.
you, Marilyn.
No worries.
Okay, so do you guys, is any other questions at this point? I think it's early enough where we can kind of let it simmer. Oh, and Diane, I think you could probably, I know that the police liaison likes to attend things like this, or at least be invited to them.
I can send Dana Sturman, Officer Dana Sturman, I can send her an email, but let me know what the time is.
Exactly the time.
Yeah,
how about Yeah, let's hold off on that until I know exactly.
Well, she does get busy, and
Yeah.
Saturdays are, but I certainly can invite her. But just let her know that there's a walk audit June 12th. But if I can tell her what time, that way she can kind of pencil that into her schedule.
I think we really ought to just put it on the books for 3:30 to 5:30, and then
Okay.
I mean that's what I'm saying to these county people. So let's just keep it at that.
Okay,
That's-
3:30 to 5:30. Is that good with
That's a
other
good time.
people? Or Saturday afternoons a good?
That's what it's shaping up to be.
Okay, so
I've
Yeah.
told some
I know
people-
there was a survey.
Uh-huh.
Did most people respond to the survey about the time slots?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so all right. All right, so I'm putting it on my schedule, and I will invite Officer Dana Stroman.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Should I just segue for the mural?
Yep, that's next.
Okay, so Reiner and Linda. Who else don't I know on here? I don't know. And anyway, I think I know most everyone else. Edward, maybe. No? But so we have been in touch with the property owner of Randolph Hills Shopping Center. They're on Bolingbrook Parkway, and the owner of that complex is named Alan Kronstadt, and he has been somewhat he has been considering putting a mural up on the brick wall that is that abuts the Civic Green. Do you know where I'm talking about? It's that big, huge brick wall that is right behind the Civic Green area.
Mhm.
And he has had his preference on how to go about painting a mural there. And we've talked to him maybe over the past year. About 2 weeks ago, he called me and he said that he's going to look into getting a gentleman named Armand who lives in the neighborhood, and he's a painter, and he's going to get quotes from Armand to put up something Art Deco-y on the brick building. And he will keep us apprised. So that is the latest from the mural project. Does anybody have any questions?
Anything better than a brick wall.
Yeah, that's
Fair.
great. That's
Oh, no.
I think I feel like I need to put the rabbit hat on again.
Yeah. The artist's name again?
His name is Armand. I do not know his last name.
Okay.
I do know that he lives in the neighborhood. He lives on Rocking Horse, is what I heard. I also know that Mr. Kronstadt said that Armand has done a lot of work for him in the past.
Okay. So does he have a website or something we could just peruse?
Those are really good questions. I didn't ask him that. I could. Why don't I do that?
Or examples of what he's done?
Why don't I do that? That would be great.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it is his wall. So if he wants to pick an artist and he's going to pay for it, I'm assuming it's going to be something that everybody in the neighborhood can live with. But it would be nice just to have an idea of what type of work he's done in the past, if that's possible.
It would, right? I mean, it really would.
I do not know.
Okay, your walk audit preparation list is
Yes.
so.
If you want, now, can I grab the host privileges back for you when you're done presenting?
And I would go like that. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
So
yeah, I mean, can I ask a question? So,
yes.
if Kronstadt ends up hiring Armand, I think one of the things that we had talked about with Alan previously was there'd be some kind of community involvement. Is that not happening under that scenario, or?
Well, those are all great questions because it seemed that was a big priority of his, but with the last conversation I had, it really wasn't talked about too much. So he seemed, he's a busy man. I think he had to go. So I just said, okay, we'll be in touch in the next couple weeks. It was where we left it. And it was a phone conversation. And I did ask him if he needed any help with the project. And he said, well, I'll let you know, we don't have scaffolding. He said, the quote that I will receive from ARM will not have scaffolding in the quote or paint. So that was, that was where that ended. We'll see. I don't know. Listen, I'll tell you what. I was happy that he called me and we had a chat about it. I thought it was great. So, but,
I mean, it would be great to get community involvement, but at the same time, sometimes that takes longer than we would like it to take. So if he takes the initiative and does something, I am certainly happy to let him do it all on his own. If he wanted any suggestions, the only thing I could think of would be that if he wanted to do it that way, that it would be kind of fun, at least, that if Armand came up with, say, 3 designs and we could have a little community vote on it, that would be kind of fun. Get some, we're not involved in necessarily getting in Armand's way or Kronstadt's way and getting something up on his wall, but that'd be kind of fun. But if he doesn't ask for it and he just wants to paint, hey, I'm happy to have something beautiful to look at every time I drive by that site.
Do you know, I like this approach, Colby, because I think that the iterativeness of the exchange, the back and forth, keeps him kind of going and pursuing the project and us as well. So I will include that. I think that's a great point. Like, okay, is there a website where we can peruse his work or pictures of what Mr. Kronstadt was talking about, the Art Deco that he paints, and then also maybe 3 designs where the community can, vote or have it.
Yeah.
Great.
Kind of fun.
Any other ideas that people can? When I speak to him next, you know what I mean.
And is it also fair to say that he didn't mention JDS's involvement?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Okay.
If anybody wants to talk about this at more length, well, I don't want to take too much time, but I will say that I had a pretty extensive presentation for him on Zoom when we met, but his tech was bad, so he had to use a phone. It was kind of difficult. But I did have a couple local artists that are fantastic. I also had Nicole's latest mural that she was wanting to put up at Wheaton. She was willing to sort of revisit painting something here. And he did say, how much would that be? I did say minimum 10,000, just like Nicole. And then he just segued right into Armand. So cost did really seem to be something. And
I do remember from about 2 years ago that Kronstadt has a mural in his own private home by Armand. I do not remember Armand's last name. It is something from Georgia or, somewhere in Russia. I can't find him online right now, but that's definitely Kronstadt's personal taste. That's all I can say.
And I'm looking on the list of Rocking Horse people, and I don't see an Armand, so maybe I don't know what his last name is, or if he's, just Armand.
However, I think that the day that it was like the day after that conversation, I think Matt saw Mr. Kronstadt and Armand talking about the wall at the Civic Green. So it's in the works. In a way. Listen, you know what I wish that Mr. Kronstadt would attend the walk audit.
We should
So,
invite him.
We should invite him.
I did invite him,
Okay.
Oh, good.
and he said no, but that was
Oh,
but that like
Was he
I need to
busy?
put this
not even a possibility, not even a, well, we'll see what day it is.
I need to put this back on. Okay. My face, I need more of a poker face or something. Okay. I did invite Mr. Kronstadt.
No.
He said no, he was not going to come. Then the date changed. So I get to invite him again.
It could be that he was just busy that particular day. So
Sure.
yeah, so we'll just
So
send another invitation to him. Yeah.
I will get to invite him again.
Mhm.
So I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, and if you want, we can do like a joint invitation from both RCF and RCA. And hopefully,
Oh, I think that's fantastic. That's a fantastic idea.
yeah, and that, I think it would help. And hopefully it was just a date issue because his roots in this neighborhood go back further than any of ours. And I think it's important. So, his grandfather built the whole neighborhood.
I know.
Oh, wow.
The other thing too is maybe when he sees the other people there too, that would be kind of good to tell him that some other to tell him that these other folks are coming. So
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
You.
Nell, you are still the host. If you
Oh.
don't mind, can you click on my name and go to more and then make host?
Go to more. See, I've never done this. Go to more. Click on your name. Make host. Change host. You got it?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again. We did it now. Okay. So RCA Elections, I don't think that we have too much to talk about other than the echo that is currently online and is coming to folks' mailboxes, hopefully very soon, does call for candidates for the RCA board. So we invite all interested parties to nominate themselves, nominate their friends. Last year, I think Brian nominated at least 2 people that were not aware of such nomination. But the position of president will be up because I am term limited, so I will be stepping down and going somewhere else, maybe nowhere. But anyway, the official way to nominate yourself or your neighbor is to email info@randolphcivic.org, and we encourage anyone who's present now or watching this later on YouTube to please join the board. It's great. Okay, so the last item of business, I wish Maddie was here because this basketball hoops became sort of a pet project of mine, which is kind of funny because I'm not actually good at basketball and I don't play it very well, but I got kind of annoyed at sort of an unfair standard that appeared to be taking place across the county in parks, in that citizens were allowed to play tennis, roller sports. They could even sort of kick around a soccer ball, but for some reason, basketball hoops had been taken out of parks. And just from my perspective, basketball is one of the most accessible sports to a lot of people. A basketball is pretty cheap and you don't really need anything else, unlike a tennis racket or rollerblades or a hockey stick or something. So to make a long story short, I went down the rabbit hole of like researching the executive orders. We reached out to parks. They sort of like poo-pooed our plan and said that the executive order was not allowing them to put the basketball hoops up. Now, meanwhile, the city of Rockville had all of their basketball hoops up, and there were several parks that are west of Rock Creek and more west than us, I should say, that had their basketball hoops. So it was kind of this frustrating double standard that was being played out across the county. We submitted testimony to the county, and I'm not saying that it was just us who was responsible, but about 10 days after we submitted testimony, the executive order was updated, and Sarah Balian told us today that our basketball hoops went back up in Randolph Hills Park, and so maybe I'll go buy a basketball and do a victory loop. But you know, I'm just really happy that people can enjoy the sport again, and hopefully they're doing it in a safe manner. But there's really no difference between playing basketball and being on a playground. So.
No, I appreciate you doing that. I mean, even they're doing girls soccer in the new park across the way, doing girls soccer. So they have like 20 girls in their, relatively contact sport. So, but yeah, so that's awesome. I appreciate you all taking that on.
Bob saw the nets being put up today. So great, awesome. You did it, Josh.
Well, hopefully other people were chiming in with us, but it was nice to see something happen. They would never admit that it was because of us, but I think we brought visibility to it. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Everyone has to be a responsible citizen of the world right now, so they're gonna have to do that with basketball too. Okay. So hopefully standard business and reports will be pretty light. The first thing is I don't have a paper echo yet, but I do have this very handy electronic version that you can't really see. But I am going to propose a motion to approve our February meeting minutes as published in the echo.
Second.
All right, any opposed? And the minutes will unanimously pass. Colby, we're so happy to have you regularly back. Do you want to give a brief treasurer's report?
Yeah, so we really I haven't gone to the mailbox in the last week or 10 days or so. I'm painting my house, trying to get it renovated and finished. But so there may be checks sitting in there. We're just waiting for 2 checks from our advertisers, and then we should be up to where we normally have is about 6,500 is what we sort of go for, and we will get that. So this will be, as far as I can sort of tell at the moment, this will be the 3rd year in a row that we are in the green. So that is a good thing. So we were in the green in 2019, about 1,800. Last year, about 1,500. And this year, I'm hoping it will be somewhere around 1,500. But I'm waiting for the final, echo and, the last 2 echoes and all that to go out, plus our donors. So hopefully we're, in the green at least 1,000 or more. So that's very good. So I'm happy to report that. But, again, even, and that's with all of our donations being, about half of what they normally are this year. So that's, a pretty good thing. I think it's about half for RCF as well. RCF's donations, and RCA's, they're down obviously, but I guess that's pretty, understandable given the circumstances. But even still, I think we're going to be in the green. So.
Thank you so much. My first year on the board was 2019, so I think maybe it's correlated.
Absolutely.
So now we can move to committee chair reports. Diane, public safety.
Hi. Okay. I finally did hear back from Detective Todd Napper. This is regarding the incident that happened back in September. Got highlighted as a drive-by shooting, but it ended up being just a weapons firing. Got downplayed to that. Charges have been obtained for the individually allegedly involved in the September 2020 incidents. Unfortunately, he cannot discuss any details due to upcoming court proceedings and trials that may stem from the investigation. But the good news is the ongoing investigation, they've obviously found out more information. I followed up with this because I saw 4 police cars outside the house where we believe the incident happened. So we do know the police are on top of that one. So I will find out when the court date is for that out of curiosity, but that's so far, that's a follow-up with that. So the report is still open, but at least they are working on that.
Can I ask a question about it?
Sure.
So the charge was like an unlawful weapons discharge? Okay.
Yes, weapons
Okay.
firing. So
Thank you.
there was no hospital, nobody that got shot as far as a gunshot wound, because there's nobody rushed to the hospital or anything like that. But there were some peculiar things that happened. For example, the time that shooting happened, or believed, at first we're not too sure if it even was a shooting. It was a sound on the Nest Cam, on one of the neighbors' Nest Cams at the corner of Schuylkill and Rock Road. And I live at the corner of Rock Road and Star Lane, which is about a block away. And about that same time in the morning, a vehicle drove past my house, stopped in front of my house. 2 guys were in it, and it picked up everything on my Nest Cam, picked that up. So I sent that to the police, but they would have gotten the license plates of the car from that Nest Cam. So that's another thing too. If you have Ring or Nest, or if you're thinking about getting it, this is a case in point where this is helping in an investigation. So if an incident does occur, this is how technology can help. I know some people are a little on the fence about doing Ring and Nest. They really promote it down when I go to the police meetings and so forth. So it's just something to consider. I know there's been some incidences in the neighborhood, like parties and so forth. But yeah, having a Nest Cam, it's just another surveillance. That's helpful. Now, not directly in the neighborhood, but close to the neighborhood, the Old Navy, unfortunately, a theft occurred there back on March 18th. Suspects stole merchandise. One suspect displayed a weapon, and when an employee tried to stop them, so it was 2 people. So the reason I'm mentioning Old Navy is that's close to our neighborhood and people go shopping there. So just be careful, because that's like right next to the Giant. I know a lot of people in the neighborhood go there. Vehicle thefts. That's the first thing you find on the crime report website when you go to Montgomery County. That's, please do not, leave your car unlocked. One case here, a vehicle theft occurred at the 12,000 block of Parkland Drive, approximately at 7:25 in the morning. No force. The vehicle was reported to have been unlocked and running. So, so just, I know some people like to go and start their cars in the morning to warm them up before they go to work or before they go out. Be very careful about that, because that just is an open invitation to someone walking by. This is the case in point. So, and also there was a commercial burglary at the Black Market Bistro, which everybody knows is right. It's in Garrett Park, very close. Now, good news is there was a forced entry, but nothing was taken, and that was on March 16th. So when I went through the crime site, those are the things that are close to us and so forth, and what has come up on the different beats in the area. Okay. So, makes sense. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Nell again. I do have a question for you, Diane, if you
Sure.
can ask Dana.
Sure.
Or whenever, we know. There are, I don't know, there are a few incidences on Data Montgomery where an auto theft is coupled with identity
theft?
Yeah.
Okay.
So There's one in our neighborhood on, I think it's Troy Road, which is over near you, I think.
Yes.
And
Troy's parallel to Rock Road, yeah.
right. So I think I get Topping and Troy mixed up, but there is the same address that has an auto theft and then an identity theft. There are also some identity thefts around our neighborhood. Now, my question for Ms. Stroman would be, is she seeing a correlation between the auto theft and identity theft? In other words, is the stuff that's stolen from a vehicle somehow used later? And I'm just curious.
Yeah, at one of the meetings before COVID, when you go down to the police station, and since that is a problem, not just happening in our neighborhood, but people who leave their cars unlocked, they might leave some form of ID in the car. Obviously,
credit cards.
Well, maybe credit cards, registration, but anything, identity theft is a problem. And these days, people can sell your information online. If you leave a work bag in the trunk of the car, and that has information on it, it doesn't just have to be credit card. It could be a driver's license, and that could be used to open up a credit card in something. So that is an issue where, again, the police will say, please lock your cars. A lot of people, they feel safe in their neighborhoods, so they forget, or they just forget. If you have a garage, you can park your car in the garage. I know that's not as common in our neighborhood, but they do say that's another issue too. But yeah, there is definitely a correlation they found with identity theft too. Another issue too, we don't have that problem with, not too many people have like a garage connected to the house, but if people can, they park their car out and they have a garage door opener, they can get into the car, open that, and then get into the house. And they wouldn't necessarily go directly into the house, but they'd open the door leading into an entryway, and they see someone's purse. Because some people just leave their purse and their work bag by the door and they grab that. Well, of course, then it's not just the money and the credit cards, it's your identity too. So it can be that. So there's definitely been correlation in the past, but I'll ask Officer Dana Stroman too, if there's been an issue with that. But that is something that, be careful what you leave in your car overnight. Because if anything's in there, sometimes they'll break a window to get in. If it looks like it's valuable, they will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry.
I had one thing, and it's totally off subject here, but I just wanted to bring it up, and I know it's not on the notes, but I just wanted to remind folks, we did pay membership dues to the Montgomery County Civic Federation, so we are now members of that, and we actually have 4 delegates that we can send to vote. We are voting members of that. And I believe I had, Josh, because you were the president. Now I can't remember who I put for the other 3, but I have to find the 4. But I know it was the board members. I had put 3. You can put 4 people's names on there. Of course, I'm sure we can switch them. But we do have that, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if if people have attended or read through their stuff, but again, we're now members of that. So just sort of for everybody's information.
Yeah, I want to say that Jack, Andre, and Diane may have been the 3 people who had raised their hands to be interested to attend. I'd like the ability to vote if there's something major, but I don't have the bandwidth to go to the monthly meetings unless we need to.
And again, I may not have put the right people's names on there, so if I know who should be on this, I certainly could just call them and say, hey, can you just add these names to the list so that we, those would be the voting member type things. But again, we could figure out who those people would be. But I was filling it out, and I was just like, okay, I put board members on it because I wasn't sure who I should put. So
yes, I was definitely one of those. So you certainly put me down. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I'll be covering the next meeting, which I think is there. I forget when it's second Monday. I'm not sure, but I have it on my calendar whenever it is.
Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, you can always write the, treasurer at Randolph Civic Association, whatever. That's, and I'll get those emails. So if I know, 4 people that could, who want to be participating in that, and then want to be the sort of the delegates for us for the local civic association, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jack was on board as well.
Okay. I will have to make sure I have the right names.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
Okay. So that's all the agenda items that we have. Christiana, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about our nature walk, and I guess it's in 5 or 6
Oh,
weeks.
of course, yes, I do. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Actually, just this morning, I had a walk with Michelle Koenig, who will be leading our walk. She was glad to be back in the neighborhood and wanted to scout out certain things. And we managed to get it in early before the rain. And it was all really very exciting. She pointed out all kinds of plants that are coming up that are invasive species, and then other things like spice bush and everything, which is wonderful to see. So that was very productive. She also pointed out that because she's coming as a member of the Nature Conservancy, they will not encourage going off path. So our little footpath paralleling the creek, she will not lead us there because she cannot responsibly do that. So most of it will be on the paved paths, but we really walked everywhere. It was just terrific. I also got what I had ordered. Thank you very much. I got the bug boxes. They're a good size. They're 3 sizes. So you catch a bug and you put it in. Here is the bug. And then you put the lid on. And then it's just terrific. So I got 40 bug boxes, which we can give away. Yeah, they're just great. And thank you very much, RCA board, for approving that expense. I think it was $37.27. So I'm going to send that to Colby for that. Again, especially, I just want to let our new members here know who are here today, Linda and Reiner Kuhlenkamp. What an incredible name. I'm curious about that. I remember a Kuhlenkamp performer back in Germany when I was a kid. Anyway, so this will be 2 nature walks, and we're limiting the attendance to 30 people each walk at 9 a.m. and then one more time at 10 a.m. That includes the grown-ups and the children. I see that the brand new April Echo is up. There is a beautiful article on the nature walk with the dates and with my email address in. So anybody who wants to sign up, please email me. Let me know, again, your name, your phone number, your address, and with how many people. Except for babies in a sling, I want to count every pair of feet. So I'm very excited. We're excited, and it's going to be great. The date and the rain date is both all in the Echo.
This is, this is just a great idea. So thank you so much for taking the lead. And hey, who knows? Maybe the cicadas will have emerged by then, and we're gonna need more jars than what you have. Maybe we'll bring buckets.
The cicadas are out, but I'm not going.
We can make s'mores with cicadas. Okay.
When are they supposed to come?
I will be hiding under my bed. Thanks.
Just wear a shower cap and you'll be fine.
I don't like them. So I think that's actually all that that's all that we have on the agenda, and also all that I sort of filled in my brain. Is there any other issue that someone wants to bring up before we adjourn?
Hey, this is Linda. This is not really a kind of an issue, but I think Matt was listening when at the beginning of the meeting, it looked like he had logged on and was listening to the meeting. But I was just had mentioned the house on Schuylkill. It's looking much better now. They've done a lot of work on it, but the guys haven't been there for 3 weeks to do any work. And the pool they've drained it, but it needs to be cleaned or something, but it looks really much better. They've really fixed up the outside. I don't know about the inside.
Yeah, the
And
outside
I don't
looks
know.
good.
Yeah,
I
you
walk
seen it?
past it, yeah,
Yeah.
every day. And I actually kind of walk down the driveway and take a look in the back where the pool is. You're
Oh.
right, they still need to clean that out.
They
So
cut
ju-
the hedges, thank goodness.
Yeah, no, I don't go in the backyard. I just kind of take a peek just to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely
It
a
was-
major improvement.
It was
compared
really
to,
bad.
Yes, it
really
was.
bad. I don't mean to be nosy. They had taken a commode and a stove and put it in the backyard. And it was just sitting there.
I did not see that. No,
That was- that was
I didn't go
early.
that far back.
That was early when I kept pestering Matt with my emails.
Okay.
But it's looking
Didn't
really
see the
good
commode,
now.
no, missed that.
But I don't know, it's not for sale. I didn't look, I saw the old picture is
But
on the
no, they
internet.
but she's absolutely right. They did a great job. They gave it a paint job. They even
Mhm.
painted the little garage,
Mhm.
the back, which is nice. So you hopefully the inside, and then I'm curious if they have an open house, what it's going to look like inside. So.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know exactly what house it is, but I've seen pictures of it, and you know, hopefully we can get a new neighbor in there, and
Yeah.
I think that would be a big improvement. So, well, that's great. Yeah, we'll share that. I think Matt might be listening a little bit, but he's not really in a place where he can talk. So we'll share that with him. So thank you so much.
Sure. I'm sorry I couldn't be at the last meeting.
Oh, it's okay. We're just glad that, you know, there's some resolution. I mean, there are just a handful of houses like that in the neighborhood max, and
Mhm.
most of them are taken care of. But when, you know, when there's like mosquitoes and gross stuff in the summer, like, you know, that needs to be nipped in the bud. So
Yeah,
right.
and some houses with a pool, it's unusual. I mean, I don't think there's too many houses in the neighborhood that have pools, but that is one thing. If you do have a pool, you have to be very responsible because of things like this, animals,
Mhm.
people, and the
Mhm.
house was essentially abandoned. So and that's a problem.
Well, with a gentleman, he died in, I think, 2017 and had bought the house and it was in foreclosure, and then it was purchased last May by the current owner. And it just, nothing was done. I mean, until the end of last year, they put a new door on there, or in the summer of last year. So anyway, it just affects property values, I would think, when you see that. And I was driving around the neighborhood, and I noticed some of these houses look like they're abandoned. They look like they're just completely empty and just, anyway.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's you know, an investor or something, but it's a good time to sell if they decide to.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the update.
You're
Is there
welcome.
anything else that someone wants to raise? Okay. Well, thank you so much for an efficient meeting. I hope everyone has a great few weeks, and I'm going to go ahead and motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay. Anyone opposed? All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks
Josh.
very much.
Happy spring break.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy spring
Thanks.
break.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. I don't know how to do. Oh,